The world is standing at the cliff to witness a major global shift. Donald Trump's recent victory of 5th November has raised questions everywhere. His foreign policy is back into the spotlight. Will his second term appear in a whole new approach to the Middle East, or will it complement the path laid during his first term? From potential peace deals to power struggles, the possibilities are endless. Let's zoom at this game of chess with twists, changing moves, and ripple effects that could not only redefine the region but also reshape global power dynamics for generations to come. Donald Trump's rise to power marked a turning point in the Middle East. Bashar al-Assad, once central to the region's politics, has now landed in Russia to take asylum. In his place, Abu Muhammad Al-Jolani emerged, a former Al-Qaeda and ISIS member and now Syria's new leader. Is it a coincidence or a calculated move by the Trump administration in the great game of Middle Eastern politics? The truth remains elusive. If you are new on my channel, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video in your circle. So who is Muhammad Al-Jolani? To understand his role in the Middle East shifting dynamics, we must zoom in on his life. The name Jolani is derived from Golan, the Arabic word for the Golan Heights, a region now under Israeli occupation. Born in Syria in 1983, Al-Jolani roots trace back to this contested land. In 2003, following the US-led invasion of Iraq, Jolani joined foreign fighters and was later detained by the American military. By 2011, as Syria plunged into a brutal civil war, his path took a crucial turn. Under the direction of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, leader of the Islamic State of Iraq, Jolani was sent to Syria to establish the Al-Nusra Front, a branch of Al-Qaeda. The conflict between Abu Muhammad Al-Jolani and Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi escalated in 2013. Jolani defied Baghdadi's demand to dissolve the Nusra Front and merge it with the Islamic State of Iraq, a move that would later found ISIS. But instead, Jolani pledged allegiance to Al-Qaeda, cementing the Nusra Front as its Syrian affiliate. These splits reshaped alliances on the ground as the Nusra Front clashed with ISIS for dominance in the fight against Assad's regime. This internal power struggle not only fractured jihadist forces but also deepened the complexities of Syria's already brutal conflict. In 2017, Abu Muhammad Al-Jolani made another pivotal move, severing ties with Al-Qaeda and rebranding his organization as Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS. Despite its new name, HTS retains its roots in extremist movements and is still classified as a terrorist organization worldwide. In 2018, the United States placed a $10 million bounty on Jolani, marking him as one of the world's most wanted men. On the surface, the US labels him as the world's most wanted man. However, some prominent global think tanks speculate that Jolani might have ties to the CIA, citing his detention by US forces in Iraq as a potential turning point. Adding to the intrigue, Russia has accused Ukraine's military instructors of being actively involved in training HTS fighters for combat operations, allegedly targeting Russian troops in Syria. Al-Jolani's rhetoric today starkly contrasts with his first television interview in 2013, where he openly supported Al-Qaeda's extremist ambitions in Syria. In his recent statements, Jolani claimed that if his forces succeeded, Syria would transition into a state of governance and institutions. He also emphasized his group's effort to reassure civilians and communities who have endured persecutions at the hand of extremists and jihadists during the Syria decade-long civil war. In Syria, the Alawite minority has been a crucial supporter of Assad's regime, the killer of hundreds of thousands of Syrians. But interestingly, Al-Jolani has vowed not to harm Alawites after gaining control. In a recent interview to CNN, Jolani said no one has the right to erase another group. These sects have coexisted in this region for hundreds of years, and no one has the right to eliminate them. While Jolani's stance appears to have evolved, it remains unclear whether the shift is genuine or simply a strategic rebranding. Syria today resembles an Arab Game of Thrones, where trust is scarce and alliances shift constantly. Across Syria, rebel groups control their own territories, each fighting for power and survival. But beyond the front lines, it's not just about the land, it's about who you stand with. For Arabs, loyalty to tribe and sects matters everything else. So the chances are high these small rebel groups will start a new civil war to get the power. In all this mess, US and Turkey is supporting Tahrir al-Sham, Turkey eyeing control over Kurdish areas and determined to secure its southern borders, while US, Israel, Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states, they are determined to keep Iran and Russia from expanding their influence in the region. In this high-stakes game, Syria has become the ultimate battleground for global powers, each playing their cards to reshape the Middle East and striving hard to achieve their strategic goals. Anyone who thinks Syria will settle under Jolani's rule is dreaming. The rebel groups are simmering with hatred, and it's only a matter of time before they turn on each other, sparking a new fight for power. Now let's turn our focus to Iran, a dominant force in Middle Eastern politics and master of controlling proxies. For decades, Iran has exerted control over vast territories, including Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon through its network of regional proxies. Its influence reached far beyond borders, providing vital logistic support to Hezbollah through the Syrian corridor and backing Hamas, the Israel's most formidable adversary. However, with the loss of control by the Assad regime and the rise of Tahrir al-Sham, Iran's grip on the region seems to be weakening. Even prominent figures like Al-Jolani have openly stated their desire to eliminate Iran's influence in Syria. Iran's once expensive network of proxies is shrinking. It will now be significantly more challenging for Iran to continue supporting Hezbollah and Hamas fighters, who have relied solely on Iran's backing across the entire Arab world. Its influence is largely confined to Iraq in the west and the Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen. Furthermore, with the recent loss of key leadership figures, Iran's ability to support them has been severely weakened. On the ground, no one is truly gaining from these ongoing conflicts, nor the ordinary Arab, nor the Iranians, and certainly not the average American citizen. Yet surprisingly, the situation is different for Israel. Israel is celebrating Trump's victory more eagerly than many Americans themselves. That wouldn't be wrong if I say they had the jackpot with Trump on their side. With Trump's pro-Israel cabinet in place, Israel now has the opportunity to expand its territories and reshape the region according to its own interests. Iranian proxies have been weakened, Syrian regime is changed, and Gulf Arabs are increasingly open to forming ties with Israel. It's definitely a win-win scenario for them. One of Trump's major achievements in terms of foreign policy is the formation of the Abraham Accords, which established diplomatic ties between Israel and the UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan. If Trump returns to office, his administration would likely focus on securing a similar agreement between Saudi Arabia and Israel, though it doesn't say outright, but the accords point towards the same thing. Overall, the better affinity between Republicans and Israel means that such a deal is more likely under Trump's presidency. Trump's personal diplomacy style and close relationship with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman may aid the process. If Jared Kushner returns to a significant role in Middle East policy, his personal friendship with MBS and family ties to Trump may boost the likelihood of a Saudi-Israeli accord. Due to region's geopolitical importance, interestingly, the Middle East has always been prime location for global rivalries. Despite efforts by US administration to reduce engagement in the region, this desire to pivot away from the Middle East dates back to Richard Nixon's era and has persisted through both the Trump and Biden presidencies. The potential for global trade routes and energy resources keeps it firmly in the crosshairs of international power dynamics. The appointments of important individuals in Trump's administration imply that his approach to the Middle East may be more in line with the traditional US role of regional involvement, especially with regard to support for Israel and a tough stance on Iran. The future of US policy in the Middle East will probably show a mix of two approaches, one that wants to stay involved and another that prefers to step back. This back and forth makes it hard to predict a steady plan. However, the Middle East is still an important region for global competition, and the US is likely to stay involved in some way. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and of course don't forget to subscribe so you never miss it when we upload a new video. You can drop your recommendations in comment section of what you wanna see us make in the future. On that note, thanks for watching, we'll catch you soon.